Guys, welcome. Today I'm going to have a go at doing the transmission oil, the gear oil. Okay, so not the engine oil, the gear oil. It needs changing at 6,000 miles according to the service schedule, and looks like a fairly straightforward job. So we're going to bring the camera in and we're going to go through it step by step. Just before we do, I'm just going to run you through what we need and a couple of things you need to be aware of, okay, if you're going to attempt this. So I'm using the original Royal Alloy manual that came with the Scoot, okay. It's not the best manual. It's not that comprehensive, it's in black and white. I'm aware that if you go on the Royal Alloy website and download the current manual, for if you've bought a modern, a more up-to-date scooter, like a newer year, this is 2019. If you've got one from 2020 or 2021, then the manual has been updated, I believe. It's in colour and it's a little more comprehensive, so the page numbers might be different. But I'm starting here on page 23, where we've got the picture of the transmission oil down here, and the instructions are on page 24, right? Now there's one or two other things you need to be aware of, because on page 24, in this old manual, they specify it as transmission oil hypoid SAE 80W-90, right? That's on page 24. On page 41, in the spec list, it tells you that the transmission oil is 75W-80, right? So a slight discrepancy there. We're going to go with the SAE 80W-90 because that's the one that's generally sold. I think that's the right spec, and that's the one that we're going to go with. The other one that you need to be aware of is when you look at the current manual, the new manual online, it specifies the gear oil as EP 80W-90, which stands for, I believe, extra protection. So it's the same spec of oil, but they've changed the classification on it, or the coding or something, so they now refer to it as EP 80W instead of SAE, but essentially it's the same oil. Apparently it's got some more additives in it for extra protection of hardware in parts, right? But I'm guessing it's the same thing. Maybe they just charge you double for it, I don't know. But this will suffice, SAE 80-90, right? What else have we got? I'm going to use a syringe, a 60ml syringe. I'm going to use a plastic jug, okay? And I'm going to use a socket, which I think is 10ml, all right? So without further ado, let's bring the camera in and we'll have a look at what we're going to do. It should take about 5-10 minutes, hopefully, and let's do it. Okay guys, so we're down on the left hand side of the bike. We've got the transmission casing where the clutch is behind here and the belt. And if you look over here, right, we've got this one here is the filler point for the transmission oil, and the one that's underneath here, not the one on the side, the one that's underneath. See if I can get that to focus a little better on there. Some light on it. There we go. Right, so you see there, it's not the higher of the two, it's the lower one, it's this one. Slightly smaller than the other one there. So that's your filler for the transmission oil. Follow it down and you've got one directly underneath here, right where my finger is. So it's not this one on the side, okay? It's the one that's actually underneath, it's facing towards the floor. That's your drain point, okay? So it should be straightforward. I'm going to use a 10mm socket on those. I'm going to bring in the washing up bowl to catch the oil. Okay, and I'm going to put on a latex glove, just so I don't get my hands covered in oil, right, you see. So I'm gradually learning the tricks of the trade, gents, right. Put this on. Like going through customs. Right, so 10mm socket. Make sure I've got this going the right way. I'll take that one off first. Straightforward. Not very tight at all, that one. Not to drop it into the oily washing up bowl. So there you go. That's your filler point. And then underneath, let's see if we can get the main point off. There we go. So this should just rain down very easily. I better use the hand that I've got the glove on, right?
doing it up, that's undoing. Here we go guys, get ready. There we go, transmission oil. So I'm going to let that drain down. Don't forget to warm your engine up for a few minutes before as well, just to make sure that you're doing things correctly. I'm going to let that drain down, alright? And then we're going to pop the drain plug back in, and then we're going to refill. So that's straightforward enough.
Okay guys, so that's draining down, and go back to your manual, look on the specification page, and it'll tell you that transmission oil 170 millilitres is what we need. All right. Now, this oil that I purchased, this gear oil, it comes with a spout. All right, and you pull that out, and the end of there is meant to fit into your filling point. Okay, but it's slightly. It looks like it's slightly too big, right, to fit into the filler point on these. So what I'm going to do is squirt some of this into my measuring jug. We need 170 millilitres. It's a measuring jug. I've cleaned the inside so there's no cross-contamination. And I'm going to use the syringe to get it from here into the bike. Okay, the syringe is 60 millilitres, so 3 syringefuls, just less, and we're about there. All right. So I'm going to squirt some of this into here. I'll take it up to just under 200 millilitres. Just give you an idea of how much goes in there as well. That's just over 100. So you see how much that is. We'll get a bit more in there. Okay, so that's just under 200 millilitres. Okay, so there's my oil. Now let's bring the camera back in and get the syringe on it, and we'll get it filled. Okay, so I've let that drain down for a few minutes. Gonna pop the drain plug back in under here. I've taken my glove off now, right? So I'm gonna get oily fingers, but I actually prefer doing it with my fingers. At least I can feel a bit more, right? So there we go. That's on. Just need to nip that up. Not too tight, but tight enough. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take my syringe. Let's move the washing up bowl out of the way. We don't need that anymore. That's my oil receptacle. Right, now what have we got down here? We've got our jug and we've got a syringe. Okay, so I'm going to take the syringe and just start filling the syringe. He says, but it seems to be jammed. There we go. Right. Let's do this. Okay. So that's got 50 millilitres in it, the syringe. 50 millilitres. It's a 60 ml syringe, but we've filled it to 50 there. So at least we've got a good idea here of how much is going in. Okay. So I'm going to take that and pop it in. Just change the camera angle so we can see this. So there's our hole. Okay, it's just a hole with a female thread. I'm going to pop that in there. It fits perfectly as well, right? And in it goes. No drips, no mess. One slight drip. Now I think this is a lot easier than trying to use the tube that's on the bottle. Just because that tube that's on the bottle is just a little too big. Okay, we're going for a second syringe full. Now on this one, guys, look, I've managed to fill it to 60 millilitres. Okay, much smoother that time. So 60 millilitres going in. 60 plus 50 is going to give us 110. Do it nice and slow.
Perfect. That's 110 in. So we need another 60, right? And then we're done. Yeah, 60, 60 and 50 gives us a 170. Okay, so I'll fill this up and we should take pretty much all of what's in the measuring jug. You can hear it there, just slurping it all up. Sorry I'm not getting this on camera, gents. But you get the gist. So I need a little bit more in there. Gonna try that again, hold on. Just gonna get all of that oil out of the jug in one go. There we go. So that is another 60. So 60 is 120 and 50 gives us our 170. So if we get all this in, we've got the exact amount of oil that we need. Perfect. There, now you can see that it's pouring out, and that means it's full because it does say fill it until it pours out or overflows. Okay, so we pop that back in there. Gonna nip that up. Oh, in my extension piece. Where's my bar gone? There it is. Yeah, just need that little extension piece just because this casing gets in the way a little bit there. Done. How easy was that, guys? Gearbox, or gear oil, should I say, not gearbox, gear oil, transmission oil, done. And the only bit of mess is that little blob there that leaked out at the end. So easy.
Guys, thanks for watching as always. Don't forget to subscribe and keep watching. Hopefully get some good ride outs filmed very soon, and looking forward to the spring, as I'm sure you are. Cheers, guys.